Hi friends. Today we're going to have a little bit of a different video. This is going to be more of a chit chat together instead of a one specific idea kind of video. And I strongly encourage you that if you clicked on the video and maybe hearing what I just said makes you want to click back off, don't. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that everything we experience is a part of the unfolding of whatever our heart's desires are. So I think maybe you're meant to hear this message. It showed up in the orchestration of your life, so give it a chance. Most of my content is geared around a specific subject, obviously, and I'm noticing this time of year, I'm really focused on what do I really want out of life? What do I really want from, what I do with my channel, with coaching? What do I really want? Why am I here? Why do I even want it? What are my goals? Blah, blah, blah. It's New Year's, right? So I think it's just the thing. You start thinking about life and goals. And I've noticed that a lot of logical thinking, logical mindset, I'm thinking of you people. I'm thinking of those of you who maybe you've known about manifestation forever, but have just had a tough time accepting the whole idea of it. And I've been thinking about my own content. Like, I have my own personal beliefs on how manifestation works. They're not a secret. I make videos on them. But I also can take that step back, which is something I do when I'm feeling either frustrated or getting myself really sucked into what's happening in my life or in the 3D. I do this little thing where I see myself as stepping out of my reality bubble and trying to see from a distance. So I can see clearly, like, what am I feeling resistance to? What am I, aligning myself with? What am I believing about myself truthfully in that moment that I'm getting entangled? So I can see too that, I talk very passionately about this subject because I love manifestation, and I hand over my heart, believe 100% that it is always at work, and it will work for you. It has worked for me as well. So I can get really passionate about what I believe, and what I do believe is that we are co-creating with God, with the universe, with source, whatever you personally yourself believe it is. I feel most comfortable saying God, source. That just rolls out of my mouth, but it can be universe too, or whatever you think it is. And it will be right for you because it's your reality. So I know that I can get very passionate in my videos about what I believe, like, hey, you're God, you're source. So snap out of it. Remember who you are, blah, blah, blah. And don't worry, if you like that side of me, that's not going anywhere. But I also can see how maybe hearing all of that for the first time, especially when you are at a specific state while seeing certain videos, it can feel like, okay, lady, chill the fuck out, right? And because of that, again, the logical people, you're on my mind. You're the logical thinkers. You're on my mind a lot lately. So I'm going to talk about resistance and what resistance is. And from my personal perspective, there is nothing sincerely really blocking you from what you want. I do believe that the energy that we are co-creating with is the truth of who we really are. That's what is inside of us. That's what gives us the ability to tap into our imagination, make that conscious decision of who we want to be or what we want to experience in our life. I don't believe that resistance is like a cinder block or a cement block really stopping you from it. Resistance is, in a sense, a belief within us that is like saying no to what you want. And I don't mean permanently, but resistance, that feeling of this is never going to happen, I can't see how this can happen. Oh my God, it can just really bring you down. It can really bring you down. And when reality doesn't seemingly look the way we want it to, and we don't understand why it's looking the way it is, I think we in the manifestation community, or at least we who make videos, we can forget what that feels like. And maybe I shouldn't say that I'm speaking for others, I'm speaking for myself. We can forget that. You know, once you've had successes with manifestation, it's easy to forget what you once felt like. And I've been pondering that lately, because I don't want to experience anything that's causing that feeling for myself again. But I also don't want to forget it, because I think that when we forget what those things feel like, you can't relate to someone else. And that is what I have found. Like, no, that's why I'm here. That's why I started the channel, is because I do want to have someone click on my video and listen to me and be able to be comfortable to get into that place of trust that I am telling you the truth from what I have experienced along my personal life journey from an authentic place. So yes, I can share lumps and bumps of my own, and I want you to feel hopeful, at minimum uplifted from where you were from when you first found the video. And I know that when I was an extremely logical thinker, and I would be lying to you if I said that logic still comes into my mind. I still get doubtful thoughts too. I don't think they go away necessarily. I think all types of thoughts are always going to be available to us. And I'm sure you don't need much evidence to prove that to yourself. I'm sure you experience it. But I want you to click on my video and know that I am here for you. And I think it can get lost in this community because on one aspect, it can look like a money grab too. And if you're anything like I used to be, that would shut me right down to it. If I felt like someone was trying to coerce me into buying something, I would be automatically shut down. And I mean like a hard shut, which is why I said in a recent video, I love my old self and thank God for her, because something made her continue. Because the who I was back then was Mrs. Giver-Upper. Mrs. Giver-Upper. If you are selling me something, I'm out, bitch. You're not going to pull one over on me. That's who I used to be. And I don't want you to ever really feel that way when you watch my videos. I want you to know that it can be difficult to hear that there's nothing to change but self. You are the only cause for what you experience. What you're living in your 3D world is coming from within you. It can be hard to hear that, especially when you're not living circumstances that feel good. But I want you to know you can get out of those circumstances. I want you to start this new year knowing that I will do whatever I can in every single one of my videos to show you that and to help you see that manifestation can be very magical, but it's really not magic. It's just how life works. You just weren't aware of it, but now you are. Now you're awake to it. And even if you are a logical minded person, if you were to take the time to take a look at your life and really look at it and see, is it really a match to how I am in the pattern of thinking? Is it a match? I'm telling you, it will be a match. If you're being authentic, if you're being honest with yourself. So if it's a match, if you can see that, can you imagine if you would be willing to start entertaining the idea that your life can change? And although in my videos you're going to hear me refer to God and source and all that stuff, you don't have to believe that that's what is out there or inside of you. You can have the viewpoint that you're living in a simulation. But I hope you open yourself to the idea that it's possible that there is something bigger at play in the world. And if I could give you just one piece of advice, it's really easy to get sucked in to the negativity of what the world appears to be going through. And God, that can just suck the life right out of you and suck the hope out of you. It's so easy to jump on that bandwagon of looking at everything. You know, we'll talk about like groceries and, you know, how expensive things are and where prices are going. If you're trying to buy a house, where the housing market is going, depending on what country you live in. We could go on listing what the world around us claims is happening. And again, I'm not trying to take away from anybody's experience. I'm trying to say, but you have the option to not keep stepping into that or allowing that type of noise in your world. You have a choice. And the more you remove yourself from it, and yeah, I mean, like, stop watching the news, stop reading the newspapers. And I know that can sound like blasphemy to some people, maybe even a touch of illogical. You know, there's that old saying, like, you know, you're putting your head in the sand, but you got to come back to reality. No, that's the type of thinking that got you into the position of not loving your life. That mentality. You got to be realistic. You got to stay on top of world events. And I know it does go against the grain of everything we've all been taught. That you can't just close your eyes and make things go away. But yes, you can. Yes, you can if you're willing to be open to that. If you're just open to the idea that there's something bigger out there, that there is something more to who we are, that's really all you need. That's really all you need to start changing your life. No matter what I ever talk about on my channel, it's because I want to help you specifically, whoever you are watching this video. It's because I do. I want to be able to rescue as many people as I can from the mental hell that resentment, anger, pain, trauma can keep us trapped. And it is a hell. And it's a hell that we keep experiencing because we keep thinking about it. We keep replaying things in our mind. We watch other people. We get so engrossed with what's going on with other people. And I'm not saying that by shutting the news out, I'm not saying that we can't think better thoughts for the world, and we certainly can, and have an impact on what happens on this planet. We can. But it does have to start with you first. Being willing to make an honest change. And it can be a whole shitload of a waste of time to watch all this manifestation content and then not apply it to your life. And I know some of you are probably doing that right now because I used to do that. Granted, there weren't really a lot of law of assumption type channels back then. They were only law of attraction. But I was that person too. It took me a while to really be open to the idea that this shit could be real. It is real. It is real. But what's really important to know, you are having a human experience, and you are going to experience the full range of your emotions and feelings. And that doesn't sound fun sometimes, but I'm only saying it not to scare you. I'm saying it because those emotions and feelings are showing you something within yourself. They're showing you what you're still believing. And it's an option to change it if you're willing to be open to that change. I would love for you to not give up. I would love for you to give this a chance. And you don't have to be as zealous as I am. And I can be sassy in my videos, and maybe that can be a little overwhelming sometimes, or a little loud. It's probably not going to change, but it's because I'm passionate about this subject area. I'm passionate because I'm very aware of how it has radically changed my own life. But I do want you to know that I have shit days too. And I have days where I can be upset about something in the 3D. I'm too, that doesn't make sense. I too am still having a human experience. That's not going to go away. But that's not a bad thing either. And maybe you're someone that has given this a try, but maybe you're really frustrated over what you're experiencing in 3D right now, which I can relate to that too. I've lived that. I've definitely lived that. But what you're frustrated with in this moment is trying to show you something. It's not there by coincidence. It's not there by mistake. It's there to show you something. Perhaps even to let go of something. I don't mean let go of what your desire is. I mean let go of what you're holding fear and resistance to. It's not there to hurt you. We get one turn on this planet. And by one turn, I just mean one life experience. Again, I'm not saying that there are not infinite versions of you. I don't mean that. I'm saying one experience of you being aware of being who you are. So one experience of me being Kimberly. From there, we are choosing out of the infinite choices of what version of yourself you are. So what version of Kimberly? But we get one. I know there's talk about reincarnation. There's all that talk. That's fine. But that's not the focus on my channel. So we're talking about your current incarnation. Don't throw it away to hopelessness and pain, anger, resentment, and all the things that just don't fucking feel good. Don't throw it away to that anymore. You have much more option and control over your experience than maybe you are sincerely aware of. Which is why I say, take an inventory of your life. Does your life match what you have dominantly focused on throughout your lifetime? Is it a match? Does it make sense to you? Even from the place of, you know, let's say someone's hurt your feelings, the expectation that they probably would, or the fear that they would, was it there? Because it's not happening by accident. That's what I mean. And we don't have to view life scared anymore. Not now that you're awake to this. It's always working, always. In my early days, I was really good at misunderstanding when I would have said or labeled something bad happening, something that scared me. And I wish I had someone back then to tell me it's all going to make sense someday. It's all going to be okay someday. And that's not to say I didn't have good friends or loving family members. I don't mean that. I had them, but for a lot of my life, I wouldn't let them in. I wouldn't tell them what I was going through up here. I would hold it all in. God damn it, I just did my makeup. So, oh my God, how corny. Cornballs, sorry. If you're living that experience right now, I'm the person telling you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And whatever you're living, it's going to change. It's going to change. And you have the steering wheel of control to push it into the direction you want it to go in. You do. Jesus, Christmas. You have more control than you think. Your control is what you're thinking right now in this creative current moment. So if you've been in the habit of staring at what's going on in your life, the things you don't like, if that's been your habit of staring at it and worrying about it, being in fear that it won't change, timestamp this part in the video and save it for yourself. It's going to change. Your life is going to get better. And you will look back on it and think, what the hell was I worried about? Everything was working in my favor anyway. Because it is. Because it is. So I'm going to leave on that note. Apologize for the tears. Back to normally scheduled sass tomorrow. Happy New Year.